Hey, you beautiful souls. This is your best friend, Beth, and I'm here to tell you that you are enough. Anytime life gets hard, there is always a better perspective to have. And I'm here to share my journey with you so that you know you're not alone. Hey guys, this is your best friend, Beth. I wanted to come and tell you the 3 gifts depression can offer. Yeah, gifts. So, number 1, the reminder that you need to spend some time taking care of yourself. Often when the depression maybe just comes on, we're trying to ignore it. We're trying to just keep on doing what we're supposed to do, go to work, do our responsibilities, take care of the kids. But eventually, when we have a moment, I know my go-to was to binge watch TV, to eat some comforting food, and just kind of escape the depression little darkness that would be, at the forefront of my mind or at the back of my mind, and I would just want to numb out. But what it is a reminder to take care of yourself, and that can be different depending on what's going on, what your body is really calling you to do. Maybe it'll be exercise. I'm really being called to move my body lately. Maybe it's take a shower. It depends on what you're really feeling the need for. Maybe it's to journal, and all of the chaotic thoughts just need to get out. The way that I can kind of read my body and what it needs to do, because my mind will tell me lay down in bed and do nothing all day. But what I do is I take a minute, I'll sit in quiet, and I'll just see, where am I feeling the depression at? Am I feeling like sadness? Like, is it coming up in my heart? Is it more in my mind and I'm really just clouded and brain fog? Is it the chaotic thoughts that just keep racing and racing and I'm feeling anxious and my shoulders are all tense? And then I can sort of make a game plan for what do I need. And sometimes I can only do like 5 minutes of that, but with the intention of, I'm going to look and see what's going on. I'm going to take care of this body of mine, this mind of mine, this heart of mine. Once I take care of that part of me that's needing attention, if I feel called to lay down and veg out and, binge watch some TV, then so be it. It'll be fine. But when we neglect that part of ourselves and we don't look at it, it prolongs the cycle that depression can be. Once I realized that I could be more intentional with taking care of myself and be more empowered in my depression, the cycles got shorter, and shorter, to where I don't even feel like I have depression anymore. I just might feel sad. I might feel anxious. I might have a bit of brain fog. I don't even call it depression anymore. Right? The second gift that depression can offer is it's a good way to learn the lesson of detaching. For me, when I read this book called The Zen Path Through Depression, it opened up my mind to understanding that the thoughts that came with depression, the brain fog, the hopelessness, that it wasn't a part of who I am. That depression is not a part of my identity. When I would have the thoughts of hopelessness and worthlessness and I can't do anything, my dreams will never come true, it was a lot of shame and a lot of guilt. And I didn't realize that those thoughts were all lies that the depression would send to my brain. When I understood that the feelings do not have to attach to the thoughts, it was a whole new world. So for instance, if I feel really sad in my heart, my brain wants to go to, what did I do to deserve that? But now I've come to a point where I can feel sad. Like for instance, I'm going through a breakup. I can feel sad, but my brain, if the thought comes like, I did this, I deserve that, this will never happen, I'll never be such and such, I don't have to attach to that. I can just watch it and be like, yeah, that's not true. Now, it took a while to get to this point. It takes practice. And once I realized that the thoughts were all lies and just coming at me because these feelings were scaring me and these feelings were painful and these feelings felt like never ending, the thoughts were just symptoms to try to help me fix it. Like, oh, I'm not good enough, so I need to fix it. At the end of the day, we can turn this around and use it to help ourselves. And we can notice our bodies and where we feel the tension at. And then we can notice our thoughts and see what's coming. A lot of the times for me, the thought patterns would circle around, I'm not good enough. What that tells me now is if I have those thoughts, I need to be doing more affirmations. I need to be doing a gratitude list. I need to write down all the things that I've accomplished because my brain is obviously not remembering how much of a badass I am. And it actually works. The beautiful part is we can take that lesson and use it for other parts of life. If somebody hurts my feelings, I don't have to say I'm not good enough, that's my fault, I'm shameful, I'm gonna have to go and make them see all of my worthiness. I can just detach from it and I can share my truth and then go on about my life, and my heart does not latch on to that shame or guilt. Third gift of depression is as low as you can go, it's as high as you can go. And what that means is as sad as you can get, as hopeless as you can get, when you're so in your darkness that it gets numb. If you can be intentional and take a few moments to take care of your body and just see what you're being called to do, just try. Just show up for yourself. If you can just show up, no matter what that looks like to you, then eventually you will come out of it. You will experience the opposite, and you will be able to go to a joy that you never thought you could experience. But when I was able to do that, at first it looked a lot like spending 2 minutes, 5 minutes, just being able to look and feel what I was feeling. And then I would have to go back to my usual ways where I would binge watch TV, I would eat my comforting food, I would smoke weed, I smoked cigarettes. I did so many things for so many years to numb out and escape my feelings. So it started very small. But once I started, it was a feeling of not just getting through and it lifting, but eventually it became a feeling of I'm empowered. I've learned some lessons. I see where the thoughts came from, and I noticed that it was a lie. I saw where the feelings lied within my heart, my shoulders, my stomach, the anxiousness, the tension, and I realized that I can help my body feel better during those feelings. And it just became a process of seeing what worked and noticing what didn't help too much. And then just, resting and not overdoing it and not trying to take control, because it is a process. When you come out of it, it's like you're not constricted anymore. Before, when I wasn't intentional and I didn't have any control and I didn't have any knowledge over what was going on with my body or mind, soul, heart, nothing, I would feel it in the back of my mind just watching me, and it would peek its head out, and then eventually it would overtake everything, and then I'd wait for it to return back to the home in the back of my mind. It was so restricting, and it would take away my joy during the happy moments of my life. It would take away the peace during the quiet moments of my life, and it was exhausting. Once I was able to be more intentional with what I can do with my empowered self, then it's like the restrictions slowly started to go away, and I can experience joy without that depression sitting in the back of my mind watching me. So as low as I could go, the joy felt way more than I had ever felt in my life. The joy, the peace, even the flat lines where, there's nothing going on and it's just a quiet day. It was amazing and freeing, and there's just endless potential now to just being happy because I'm not constantly being watched by the depression. I'm not constantly being reminded that depression is still there. I'm not being restricted, and it's like a vampire that sucks your joy away. Like, oh, you're happy? Guess what? I'm still here. You're still worthless. You're still hopeless. I'll remind you again later. I'll take over your whole life later. Just remember that. So as low as you can go, you can experience just as high, if not higher. You can experience just as much joy, if not way more joy than that low can take you. And eventually you get to a point where you can appreciate that low because it's causing you to do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And without that reminder, without that need, we wouldn't be taking care of ourselves. Eventually I got to understand those thoughts and those feelings, they've always been there. I just didn't notice them or care about them until it took over my life and I had to adjust some things in order to do my daily responsibilities, in order to take care of my kids, in order to be healthy. So depression for me was a map to freedom. It's a map to health and wellness. It's a map to spirituality, and it's a map to true gratitude and empowerment.
Friends, thank you for being with me today. I am just here to tell you that you are enough, and when things get hard, there is always a better perspective available. Let's just get a little creative with it, right? If you need help, please subscribe to this podcast. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get connected with me on Instagram. Message me. I'm here for you. Let's be friends.